Record.
Please start again.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Last night, we had a very informative session on the Rotary Action Plan and talked about specific actions we need to take to grow our clubs. We also learned that good public image efforts are essential for expanding our reach and increasing our impact. So this evening, we're going to explore what is public image, what are the benefits, and what are the specific actions we need to take to boost our public image. Before we get started, I would like to introduce our team members. First, our District Learning Chair, Kalpana Patel.
Hello, everybody.
She organized
Hello.
all our district learning assembly sessions and will put together ongoing learning opportunities for us throughout next year. And our Technology and Information Chair, PDG Barry Crow,
Hi, guys.
who will record and make everything for this session available to the entire district. And our Public Image Chair, Amalia Duarte.
Hi, everyone.
Amalia and her team will be our champion for public image and will provide resources and tools to all our clubs. Our guest speaker this evening is Janet Talep, our Zone Assistant Public Image Coordinator from Bethlehem Morningstar Rotary. Janet is an experienced learning facilitator at district, zone, and international levels. In addition to being our speaker this evening, Janet has been helping us to kickstart our district public image program for next year. We really, really appreciate her guidance and help throughout our journey to build a strong public image program. Janet?
Hello and good evening. Thank you, Jeannie. So I want to give a bit of a disclaimer when you spoke about a experienced learning facilitator and professional. I want you to know that my public image work, I consider myself a practitioner and not a professional, because I have learned about public image and the impact that public image and storytelling can have on our Rotary efforts over the many years I've spent in Rotary. So all of us can be practitioners. This is a journey, and it is important that we make progress. It's not about perfection to start with. So thank you so much, Jeannie, for that introduction. And what a great team you have here together tonight. And I really hope that our time tonight together will be informative and interactive, and that we're going to have a little of interaction. And we have a small group here. I'm going to invite you at times to put it in the chat, and perhaps we might even be able to unmute it a few times along the way. But I went at different points. I'll invite you to put things into the chat. So I think, and at the end, we're also going to take some time to have questions as well. So if we are ready, let's begin. So this is one of these interactive. In the chat function, if you were to ask someone in your community, a non-Rotarian, what is Rotary? What are some words that they might use to describe Rotary? Anybody have any words that they might use to put into the chat function? A group that helps the community. What other words, if you went into the community and asked them, what is Rotary? A service organization? Scholarships in the street fair, so your events. Now, here's one. Imagine you're talking to someone that's, a young professional, 30 years old. What do you think they might say about Rotary? Old people? Any other ideas? A social club, men only? Yeah. Network? Dictionary people, projects. So, one more question I'm going to ask. What word or words would you describe Rotary? What would you say?
Largest global social media.
Service, vibrant, community-based, service. So the very first place we want to start in public image is to know this. Our public image is not what we think of Rotary, but is how Rotary is perceived by the public, our community, and by the world. I think we're back one there, Kalpana. So when we ask people around the world, this was a survey by a research firm that Rotary had in 2022, we're asked if they had ever heard of Rotary. On average, more than half of the world recognized our name. But it's clear that that recognition varies greatly around the world, from 91% in Taiwan to only 27% in Poland. And you see it's everywhere in between. In the US, it's 52%. When we asked people what they know about Rotary, this is what we saw. We also find that a high level of brand awareness doesn't always correspond to understanding. So in Taiwan, 91% of the people had heard of Rotary, but only a little over 50% of them knew what actually Rotary does. And in Germany, look at that. Almost no one knew what Rotary does. So what does this tell us? It tells us we have the power to shape and strengthen how the public views Rotary. So one of our objectives is to increase awareness and understanding of Rotary around the world. And how do we do that? How do we help people perceive Rotary the way we do? We can start by highlighting the impact that clubs and members are making in their communities and presenting Rotary in a consistent and compelling way to those who don't know us. No one understands the benefits of Rotary better than you, our members. That's why we rely on you as part of our 1.4 million member network to share the stories with the public. So how many here tonight actually share your Rotary stories with business colleagues, family, friends, neighbors? Raise your hand if you share your stories. A few of us do. A few of us do. So why do we care about having a strong public image? Feel free to share your thoughts. Why do we care about having a strong public image? Anyone have an idea? A strong public image helps us engage and attract more members, participants, donors, and partners. It helps us to stay relevant in a changing world and allows us to be effective advocates for change who make an impact. So, as Jeannie shared, we're going to look at some actions that you can take to get started in your public image efforts for your clubs. In short, we define ourselves as people of action, showcasing our brand through our words, our communication style, and impact. They all embody the spirit of action. So here it is. Action number 1. Use the brand center. Have your club members familiarize themselves with the Rotary's brand portal. This brand center is no longer password protected. Use brand center instead of Googling logos and images or recreating a logo using an alternative design tool. Make sure any of your friends, designers, or members use the brand center for guidelines and materials. The brand center is the one-stop shop where you can find materials to bring our club's public image to life through a consistent message and a Rotary look and feel. The brand center has a variety of content, including guidelines, logos, templates, and other customized materials, and press releases and ads. Actually, Kalpana, why don't you go to the next slide? And that's going to be able to let us click through. This is the website, which if you haven't visited it, you just need to put in Google Rotary Brand Center, and you'll come to this brandcenter.rotary.org. Kalpana, you want to click on that for a minute? Well, maybe we'll click through. Well, I recommend that you take some time to explore it and familiarize yourself with all of its materials. And you really will be amazed at what you can do there. Everything you need to do public image work, you can find on the Brand Center. Let's go to action number 2 now, Kalpana. Visit the Learning Center. Spend some time in the Learning Center. It's available at My Rotary or rotary.org/learn. Now this, you will need a My Rotary login. Hopefully most of you have it. If not, I'm sure that your team here will be able to help you get online so you can access the Learning Center. And it has a variety of courses everyone can take, including courses on the Rotary logo, the Rotary brand, and building Rotary's public image. These courses are only 15 minutes, 30 minutes long, and you can take them at your own convenience. I like to think that when you can't sleep at night at 1 in the morning, you can get up and do a module in the Learning Center. So consider reviewing a learning module at a club meeting, and it's a great way to get more of your club members to understand the importance of public image. Action number 3, use correct logos. See what happens when we take creative liberty with our logo? It's all over the place. The use of various fonts and sizes, along with alteration of a mark of excellence, putting that mark of excellence up at the top of there, shows no cohesion or unity. Incorrect usage may cause a potential member, donor, or partner to doubt if we're an organization they can trust. We want them to be able to trust us so that they can join, donate money, and partner with us. So correct logo usage allows us to share a consistent story and message. Make everyone understand proper logo use. Our Rotary International, only Rotary International, can use the master brand signature on its own. And the master brand signature is the Rotary wheel along with the Rotary name. The mark of excellence is just the wheel with Rotary International in it. And the Rotary master brand is the wheel with the name next to it. Clubs, district, multi-districts, and zone can only use the Rotary logo with their club, district, or zone name. This applies to Rotary, Rotaract, and Interact clubs. What you see here then becomes what we call our identifier. So when we look at this, we know who it is. We can identify who is doing the work. So recently, a lot in Rotary, we keep saying there's no Rotary police. But if I had a red light, I'd be flashing it right now. This is something that's not permitted. No one should be using the older blue and yellow wheel on any of our Rotary materials. That logo was replaced in 2012. And I do have a handout I'm going to attach to the chat function right here. And you will be able to download it very quickly. It is Logos at a Glance. So that is available. It's a quick reference guide. Some other materials are available, and those your public image team will be sharing with you along the way. But here is a great way to take a look at Logos at a Glance. So we have a little video to show next. And are you ready with that, Kalpana? Oh, I think you need to reshare with the audio.
Yeah, Kalpana, you need to stop sharing and then reshare and then click those buttons on the bottom that say audio. We can't hear it.
If you stop the PowerPoint completely.
1 second.
Okay, I think we have time.
Still no sound. So Kalpana, I think if you stop sharing completely and then reshare and click the two boxes on the bottom of the share screen that say enable audio, maximize audio, then reopen the PowerPoint and show the video, I think it might work.
Wait, are you saying we're not?
We can't hear it all.
Are you not? Were you not able to see or hear the video?
We can see it, but we can't hear it.
Okay. Okay, I was able to hear it, was so admired.
So reshare. And then on your share screen, there are two boxes on the bottom that you have to check to enable audio. Then once you do that, reopen the PowerPoint and go to the video. Hopefully you got to advance forward.
So this is part of the PowerPoint. It actually is not separate from, it is embedded in the PowerPoint.
Right, but still no sound.
Are you able to hear?
No. So Kalpana, let me just share my screen for just a second. If I can. I can't. So
Yeah, it looks like you are.
yeah.
Sharing your screen.
So when you open the share box, on the bottom left, there are two boxes. One is share sound and the other is optimize video click. You need to click both of those. As soon as you start your share process, the very first thing. Do you see those two boxes?
I just see the share screen. I do not see the two boxes.
Okay. Yeah.
So when you click the share screen, another box pops up and then you can.
Should we maybe skip the video? if it's
Yes,
Not,
a great little video. Actually, it did have subtitles there. And I don't know if you were able to look at the subtitles on it. So perhaps, Kalpana,
Would
if you could share your screen again on that same one, and let's go through it and I will read it. We won't have the fun little music behind it, but we can read it so that you can get an idea. Okay, let's go to the beginning of the video there. Push it all the way back. Okay, let's start again. Okay, hit the button there and start it again. Maybe. There we go. Oh, I guess not. That's okay. What we'll do is we'll send you a link. There we are.
Let's do this.
There we go. Okay, one voice, every club. Once again, it's time to play. One voice, every club. A game that tests whether you can identify the correct Rotary logo. All right, welcome to One Voice, Every Club. Let's get started. So which item uses the correct logo here? Click, 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 click. And they are trying to decide. She guessed the banner. That was wrong. Oh, try again. The mug. No, that was wrong. Oh, I'm sorry. The correct answer is the website. Now, this club used the logo properly by including their club name with the master brand signature. We don't use that old rotary wheel anymore, and the rotary logo is never used like an object, like a bike wheel. All right, next question. Does this poster use the club logo correctly? Oh, yes, it's correctly branded. Oh, that's not right. The branding is incorrect. Let's try again. Yes, it's correctly branded. Yay. You're right. Well done. Now, how professional that poster looks. You can tell the logo was created in our brand center, and it uses the club name and logo properly font and color. A quick tip for all of you watching at home, always use your club logo consistently. It builds awareness and global recognition. All right, we're almost out of time. Final question. That was the correct logo because it uses the name with the logo. You're right. You're the new champion of one voice, every club. That's all the time we have. I'm your host, reminding you to retire those old rotary wheels. And when Rotary clubs use a uniform logo, everybody wins. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. And don't forget to visit the Brand Center. So I'm not sure that I have a future in voiceover talent here, but we will share this with you in the future. So let's go to the next slide. And this is action number 4 that you can take. When you share your impact, share it as Rotary People of Action. Make sure your community knows who you are and what you do, specifically how you are making an impact within the community. Use the People of Action templates in the Brand Center to help you tell your stories and to share them across your community. Your club's interaction with the community greatly influences how people think about Rotary. Help your club build a strong public image in your community. Publicize your projects and activities to influence how your club is perceived. Share stories about how your club's projects affect the lives of people in your community. And present your club as vibrant. We heard that word earlier. And your members as people of action. And acknowledge the partnerships and recipients as part of your outreach for even more public recognition. People of Action, next slide. People of Action is the messaging we use with external audiences to enhance Rotary's public image. It shows members taking action to make an impact in their communities. It also provides a consistent, current way to describe Rotary to those who don't know us. And importantly, it shows Rotary, it shows people there are others like them making a difference, and lets them start imagining themselves as part of Rotary. By using a People of Action framework, we can represent our brand and show the impact we create in our communities and around the world. So in telling your club's story, ask these questions. What were we trying to accomplish with this project? Who is the audience that's going to hear our story? What action did we take and how did we take it? And then support that claim with the results and the impact. And don't forget to include a call to action for the viewer and the reader. Come join us. Want to hear more? This template, next slide, please, This template is a great tool to assist with creating a brief narrative about a club experience or project. We are probably, and you probably have seen the together we words before. What you want to do is to select one of the verbs, and the verbs there in this little tool shows the verbs that are allowed: connect, empower, and polio, fight hunger, inspire, learn, mentor, promote peace, save lives, and transform. Those are the only words that are allowed as part of the People of Action campaign. And then the need, what were you trying to do? And the impact or the proof. And then again, your call to action. And that's what People of Action do. And then you can include your Rotary Club logo, your website, or also the People of Action logo. So I'm going to turn this over now to Amalia, and she's going to share a little bit about using this template and these guidelines on a story that she wrote for her club.
Great, thank you. If we want to go to the next slide. Perfect. So before I tell the story about what we did here in Mendham, I just want to go back to some of the words that were thrown into the chat when we were talking about the perception of Rotary. And a couple that I'll recall are dictionary people, which I thought was an interesting one. I'm assuming that's referring to the dictionary giveaway, which we used to do here in Mendham as well. And retired people, right? So in fact, we can be dictionary people, we can be retired people, we still have men in our clubs, right? But we're much more diverse, and we do a lot more than clearly the public perception would have. So together we transform. So here in Mendham, I'm very excited to say that we went from almost disbanding our club a couple years ago. We got ourselves through COVID, through Zoom meetings, but some people moved away, some people lost interest, and the club really dwindled down to about a handful of members. And there was talk of sort of throwing in the towel. And a couple of us said, you know what, let's give it one more, the old college try. Let's give it one more go, and let's see what we can do to keep the club going. Because I sort of felt like I had joined in 2018, and I almost felt, to be honest, somewhat guilty. Like, wow, is this going to happen on my watch after this club has been around for decades and Rotary is such an amazing organization? I don't want to see it die out in my community. And so we decided to pivot and really focus on more local projects versus they had done wonderful work with supporting some international projects, but we really decided to bring Rotary home to our community. And literally in this project that I'll talk briefly about, we selected a local historic walled garden that needed revitalization, and they were looking for partners. And it was a perfect project for us because not only did they need a grant, they needed a contribution, right, to buy things, but they also needed the roll up your sleeves and come and help us in the garden. And so it was a wonderful opportunity to bring a group together to work in the garden alongside the volunteers who are already part of this walled garden group. And we got really terrific publicity out of it. It was in our local newspaper, both in print and online. We were able to post it to our Facebook, our social media, and it really highlighted that we are a vibrant, active, you can see in the photo there, diverse group of people. I will tell you that that sort of project and the seed that we planted, pun intended, through the walled garden, I actually have them sitting here in my kitchen, and I printed out the oath of membership because tomorrow we are going to be swearing in another new member at our meeting. We've grown the club from a handful back up to a strong group of active members. And I'm expecting a couple more to officially join on in the next couple of meetings. So by being a group that is of action in our local community, it really is something that people are now interested in getting involved with. And I'll say this because I'm no spring chicken myself. We're pulling in younger people as well. At our last meeting, we had a young mom who showed up, who was talking about how she could help us reach out to the other sort of younger parents in our community. So by having this local project, highlighting the project in our local media, it's really helping this sort of thing to build our club back up. So if we could go to the next slide.
Yes, and well, Amalia, thank you for sharing that story.
Yep.
Yes, and it was posted on Facebook and it got into your local newspaper with it as well. And telling the story consistently and within the public image work that we're talking about tonight. So action number 5, sharing your experience in multiple media outlets. So often here in public image work, we think about social media only, but Rotary stories of service and impact are invaluable, as Amalia has shared with us. And by sharing them across multiple media outlets, newspaper, radio, community newsletters, we can deepen our connection and relevance to our community. Through engaging narratives and eye-catching visuals, remember those pictures, we aim to inspire involvement and support for our initiatives. It's also okay to highlight our meetings and speakers, especially as they may relate to the community at large. And remember to highlight your members and their names and to tag them in your club posts. Encourage club members to like and comment and share your club posts on their personal social media channels. Now, a couple of things I want to talk about pictures. And this one isn't necessarily the best example here that I show, is because we're at a meeting and we're holding, we actually were holding a check. Those things can be important if we're highlighting a meeting or a speaker. But in those other pictures, if you go back one to Amalia's story there, you'll see it was also pictures of them doing the work in the garden. So there they are. They're showing those people in action. So when you're holding events, take pictures that show people actually doing the work. You don't need to necessarily have their face. They'll be recognized by the actions that they are taking. So whoever your photographer is, that is an extra, that's another little hint or action you can take, is to take a picture while the people are in action. So the next slide. So here's an example of a post of my recent trip to Kenya. And I wanted to just show you that when you use some of these tricks and guidelines and techniques along with your social media posts, that you can spread the word even farther. So using hashtags and tagging people in the post ensures a greater reach of that post. And when others share the post as well, it even reaches more people. Then using language that is consistent with the people of action messaging suggested in the Branding Center will help the public to understand just who we are and what we do. So, what can you do today? Use the Brand Center resources. Always use the correct branding. Showcase your club as vibrant and your members as people of action. And invite the public to engage with your club. Use that content from Rotary International that's available. And then, do you all have a public image chair? Appoint a public image chair or have a committee in your club that is paying attention to this. And through all of this, we show people outside Rotary that we are people of action. And each one of us can be an ambassador who shows the world that Rotary members are people of action. And the last slide, public image is every Rotary member's responsibility. I think now we're going to give it back to Amalia, and she's going to share a little bit about what public image efforts are going to look like in your district over this coming year.
Great. So if you could go to the next slide, please. Terrific. So I'm very excited to help everyone and support everyone as we try to improve our public image and correct some of the stereotypes and really showcase that Rotary, we are people of action within our communities and of course internationally as well. Just so you know a little bit about my background, I've been a communications professional, majored in journalism in college, worked initially back in the day in newspapers way before the World Wide Web, newspapers, magazines, and then shifted into corporate communications. I worked for a time at Lucent Technologies and a spinoff called Avaya, and then was at Citigroup. And now I work with a nonprofit where I've been for 13 years as the public affairs director. So I'm hoping to bring those professional skills to the table to help all of you. But the first thing I want to say is I certainly don't have all the answers. I forget which movie it is that they come with the line of, I'm here from corporate, I'm here to help, right? I certainly don't know how the different clubs in our district are functioning in terms of public image, whether you have somebody who's got the time and the skill set to work on it, whether you've got a Facebook or an Instagram or a TikTok or whatever you might be doing. So one of the first things that I would like to undertake is really to assess the needs of our clubs through a survey. And that will be coming, I'm looking at probably the June timeframe to get something out to everybody. And just asking simple questions, right? I don't want to waste people's time with the long surveys. So, basic questions around what are the assets of the club, who is involved, what are some of your ideas, etc. So we'll take that back, as it says here on the slide, analyze it, look for the feedback, and then I think build out some sort of an audit that will reflect back what is out there. And then looking at the gaps, right? So, if 90% of our clubs have a Facebook page, but only 20% have Instagram, let's think about that, because really folks in our age group, and I can't see everybody on the call, but for a lot of us, we are more on Facebook than Instagram, but younger people are much more on Instagram or TikTok than older. So, thinking about that. And then coming up with some simple action items that we can use to try to enhance public image. I foresee, having some workshops like this, but really digging in a bit more. And this was a great overview and gives us sort of a message and, introduction to the brand center, et cetera. But really thinking a little bit more about some of the tools and how we can take advantage of them, and perhaps bringing on some other subject matter experts to help us along. So that's how I envision the year in terms of public image. I'm guilty myself. We have to update our own Mendham Facebook with the correct logo, so I'm guilty as charged on that. So right there with you, with not being fully current, but if we can just make sure we're using the logo, that we have identified someone to perhaps be the public image chair within your club, and just some basic benchmarks that we can look to build on over the next year. One cliche that I learned in the corporate world was don't try to boil the ocean. So I'm always very cognizant of, let's try to get a few things done and, whittle away at it and move things forward and celebrate our successes, right? I think, oftentimes in organizations, we can be a little hard on ourselves, and Rotary does such great work. So this is actually very exciting to help everybody tell the stories of all the community service that you're doing, throughout the district. So I'm really excited to lead that effort and support all of you. And I don't know if we wanted to open it up for questions next.
Yes, I think that's perhaps where we are.
Yep.
So I just noticed in the chat from Kevin, the mental health advocates, he wrote, consistent branding is the keystone of clear messaging. And thank you. Thank you for that. I tried to, and perhaps you picked up on it, that word consistent is one of our North Stars in the our public image efforts, is that we're consistent within our clubs as we message, and we're consistent across clubs and districts in our Rotary world. So thank you, Kevin, for that message. So
Janet, I do have a question if I can.
Yes.
I understood the simplified logo was for merchandise branding for smaller items where it was impractical to see the words Rotary International in the first place. And what I'm seeing in this presentation, correct me if I'm wrong, is Rotary International is used with the simplified gear while clubs are using the one with Rotary International. I'm a little lost on that one.
So that is a preference. That is clearly a preference. There are some guidelines, but there's not a specific use of it. I think you outlined it as if it can't be seen, why use it? But it's not, there's not a strict rule. There's a lot of preference on that to use it or not use it.
Then would you say that if a club looked at a logo, they could opt to use one or the other? I wouldn't want to see a cross brand where scholarships have one simplified logo while banners have another. It might start to look a little convoluted, and I'm wondering if you all feel that the club just go with one and that's what you do a bulk of your work with. Just a thought.
Yeah, I think that's very wise. The other thing that I have started to do regularly is call it our identifier and not our logo. And so use a common identifier. I think it conveys a little bit more. We so often exchange the word logo and branding. So yes, club logos, but it's our, as they said, our identifier. So we want that consistent identifier of who we are. So if you're going to use the simplified version, use it on everything.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, I would like to talk a little bit about our district public image program. I know you have a plan, but you mentioned our Facebook page. We're going to be building that out a little more as a district Facebook page that individual clubs can share their stories with. Right now, I know there is a Facebook page for, I don't know what the name of it is, but it's more like the Friends of District 7475 Facebook page that I've been sharing my club stories with all along. And you mentioned that you would have an Instagram page. Would that be a district Instagram page as well?
Yeah,
Is that
so
Amelia?
Amalia, yeah,
Amalia.
thank you for that question, Robert, and nice to meet you on the call tonight. So again, I think I'm going to start with the survey, so kind of see what's out there now. I think it's better to have if you've got the capacity to support a Facebook for your own group, your own club, that's preferable because that's an easier page to update and have events, etc., that's specific to what you're doing. If you've got the capacity to do it. Otherwise, you could certainly share to the district Facebook.
Well, our club certainly has a Facebook
Yeah.
page, but
Great.
I thought that there would be more synergy, or we could create some synergy if we were sharing with a district-wide Facebook page. And also, if the district could tell some of the stories about itself on its own Facebook page and in coordination with some of the clubs. And maybe the district could even consider doing what you're asking the clubs to do, and that is to spread the word over several different types of media. I mean, we have the Star Ledger, we have, I don't know if you're familiar with the TAP organization. It's a digital newspaper, the Alternate Press. When you look at the Alternate Press, span of towns that it operates in, it really mirrors our district. Quite a few of the towns that our district located in have the TAP organization in there. I mean, we take advantage of TAP, we take advantage of Facebook, we take advantage of the local Thursday throwaway newspaper. And I was wondering if the district could get involved in that type of thing, telling the story of the district and some of the things that are going on in the district. For example, you could be publicizing, this is a great story, that we're having a district learning event for that would include all of the members of the entire North Jersey community Rotary Club. So I'm hoping that there would be an active program on a district level as well as the programs on the local level. That's it for me.
Yeah, no,
So-
no, that's great. And I guess my response to that would be, again, reflecting back on the idea that we're clubs taking action and people of action, that if there is a district-wide event or project or something that goes across a number of clubs, for example, like the mental health, the Stomp Out the Stigma walks or something like that, then I agree. I think that's a great way to promote collaboration across the different Rotary clubs. But that sounds like you're doing a lot of great work to promote the projects your club's involved with and promoting your clubs. So kudos to you for doing that.
So just to summarize, Amalia, of what currently exists, and it may be absolutely different depending upon what you want to do. There is a Rotary District 7475 Facebook page reserved for district activities and district events. There is a Rotary District 7475 group, which we encourage clubs to post all of their events. Every club does 3 or 4 great events a year, times 70 is a big number of what you would put on a Facebook page, as well as every club should have its own Facebook page, and I believe about 90% do. That's kind of the current situation.
But I guess the point I was making is, look, we'll do our job down on a local level, but I think there just needs to be more regional.
Couldn't agree with you more, Bob.
Bob, I hear you. That's exactly why we're starting to kind of take inventory of what we have. And part of that is soliciting comments and suggestion, like what PDG Bob just expressed, right? I think, Bob, what you were also talking about is sharing content, right, with the district website, Facebook, Twitter, you name it, all the social media items that the clubs can actually take what we post and reuse that in your own club's social media posting. I think that's also what you were asking, correct? Okay, yeah, we hear you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
So one suggestion under the resources of the district, we just need a place to go to simply look up good logos for Rotary, because most of us just go Google Rotary logos and we get 50 years worth of logos, most of which are bad.
I think that's, Barry, that's a very good point. That's why initially in Janet's presentation, that brand center, which we couldn't go at that point, that it's a great place for all of us to bookmark it. And whenever we need something, we will go directly there. I don't know why we couldn't go there. I don't know if there's a problem with the website, but that is the place to go.
Yeah, and it's
Yep.
super easy to use. I just ordered a table cover. So when we table at events, we have a branded tablecloth, and I went into the brand center, created the logo, sent it off to the company that created the tablecloth, and it looks really good. So
Yeah.
yes, super easy to use.
And one of the takeaways is that I think many of the clubs trying to be creative and do a fancy design work. And we've seen a few of those examples, and that's totally inappropriate. I think we need to kind of drive home that point as well.
Mhm.
Jeannie, I have a question about producing branded material. Long ago and far away, a few years ago, it used to be that you could only have material produced by a Rotary blessed, I guess you could say, company that was licensed to use the logo. Has that been loosened up that we can send materials off to other groups? Not like Russell Hampton, okay, we got that. But our
Right.
local vendors?
I think what we're talking about is for social media purpose, like posters, banners, that type of material. We're free to go wherever. I think the material that you're talking about, it's more like pins and stuff like that.
No, it's called collateral material.
Yeah.
Let's use a mug, let's use a tablecloth, gifts for speakers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Janet?
So all product is to be created by a licensed or approved vendor of Rotary International. You can get a one-time license if you have a local person producing that. You can submit it to the branding. I'd have to get the website for you. Or the email address. And there's a form to complete if you're using a vendor that has not been approved. There's a list of vendors that are available. We can get that for you as well. So that is the official position, is that all these materials are to be created in that way.
I understand that.
Janet, I'm glad you
that's
called that the
consistency.
official position.
Yeah, I can I just say something, and I'm going to be just really honest. I think sometimes when you want to produce an item, whether it's a sign or a tablecloth, like we just did through a company called Crestline based in Maine, and they do a great job.
You just do it.
Well, yeah.
I'm right with you, Amalia, and that's why I'm bringing it up.
So,
I think having the correct logo is the really important
right,
piece of
right.
it. Yeah.
The concern, of course, the concern is that when they have not been approved, is that somehow the work will get distorted or done incorrectly.
Yeah.
And not further us on our journey. Remember I said this is a journey, we're making progress. And so that's the concern. So, and I have seen things made improperly. They squish, they stretch, and the colors using the correct color. So I will caution you, but we all live in a real world.
Is there anything else? Other comments? Well, Janet, just like you said, this is a journey. and you help us to get started on this journey. And I am sure that we're going to see you throughout next year and continue. We're hoping to continue to get your help to guide us through. And we thank you so much for your presentation. And I am sure that the material that we get when it gets posted, many of our district members will get to use that. I thought the best part of this presentation is really their items, their actions that we can take today. So all of our clubs can get on this journey. Doing our in-person meeting part of this district assembly on May 6th, I will make sure that I emphasize the fact that each one of the clubs should name a public image chair as their champion to move forward on this journey. Malia, any other last words, or Janet?
No, I'm just telling you, we have a storm that just blew in. So if I've looked a little concerned, I was trying to figure out lights were going off and all of that. So it just blew in, and I think the windows are okay. But thank you for having me. I really wish you all the best. As I said, and we've said, it's a journey, and being consistent is our goal. And anything at any time, reach out to myself or the public image team from Zone 32, or even I also encourage you to coordinate with districts in your area. There's district public image chairs that are all around in our area, and they've all been on a journey as well. So hopefully you can connect with others. And it sounds like you also have some experienced people on this call. So thank you for having me.
Well, thank you. And Amalia, we look forward to your survey late May or beginning of June.
Yes, I also wanted to thank Janet as well. You put a lot of time working with us, prepping for this evening's presentation, and just really appreciate the support. And I want to call out, I was flipping through the slides again. I think this slide that talks about, portraying Rotary members as people who address community needs and people of action. If there's one takeaway, I think that's it, right? Like the example from Mendham, we literally got down in the dirt and it just showed, that we are doing things and giving back to the community and getting things done. So that's my final point. I look forward to working with all of you and everyone who isn't on the call tonight. I've only been in Rotary since 2018, but I think it's just a great organization, and excited to highlight all the good work that's being done throughout our district and helping you tell the stories.
Yep. Thank you, everyone. And I'm sure we'll see some of you, if not all of you, tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock for Foundation Basics.
Yeah. Thank you, Jeannie and Kalpana.
Yeah,
Good
thank
night.
you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
Take
you,
care.
everyone. Look forward to seeing you
Have a great night.
tomorrow, 7 o'clock.
Yep.